Anything is possible, it started with a dream. Our passion made a difference and built a family. We've grown strong together, you know it's all because...
Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Donna Gray and I'm going to bring you a simple, beautiful card using two of the stamp sets out of our brand new Ornate Garden suite. So the Ornate Garden suite is new from Stampin Up. It's an early release suite that we have available. It is absolutely a gorgeous suite. It's got beautiful flowers. So one stamp set has flowers, the other stamp set has the sentiments. The flower stamp set has these gorgeous framelets that you can use to layer up on your card. The other stamp set has the sentiments, but it also has beautiful border layers. So we have some gorgeous framelets in amongst these that we can do some great cute borders with. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to do a very simple card, not using any of the framelets, just using the stamp sets and the flowers and the sentiments. So I hope you enjoy this card. So I've chosen Flirty Flamingo, Smoky Slate and Whisper White for doing this card. I've also got a collection of my blends markers that I'm going to use to color. I've got our Smoky Slate ink pad and I'm going to stamp the flowers with my Smoky Slate ink pad. So I'll just pop those off to the side, out of the way. So I've got a piece of Whisper White here that I'm going to layer up on my Smoky Slate piece of cardstock, and I've got a tiny 1/16 of an inch border all the way around. So I'm going to bring in this single little flower stamp, which I think is absolutely stunning. Now, we can use any of our ink pads in our collection with our blends. So one of the things that we're lucky enough, our blends are alcohol markers. So with our blends, we have to use a water-based ink pad, and all of our ink pads are water-based. So we're able to use any color that we like. Now, the reason that I'm using the Smoky Slate is I'm not a fond lover of using black when it comes to nice pastel colors for your stamping. So I find that the Smoky Slate is a little bit more subtle and creates a much nicer look. I'm just going to bring in a scrap piece of paper because I'm going to stamp off the edge here. So I'm going to ink that up with my Smoky Slate, and I'm going to stamp a series of these gorgeous flowers all the way along the front, but I'm going to do them at different levels. So we've got flowers popping up like they're popping up out of the garden. Okay, so it's a simple, easy technique, this. So just like that. So we've got some gorgeous flowers going across the bottom of our card. Now, also I'm going to bring in the card base. Now, my card base is cut at 5 3/4 inches by 8 inches, and I will fold that in half, and that will give me a card front size of 4 inches by 5 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to use my bone folder to crease that nicely so it sits really nice. So we have our beautiful card base there. I'm also going to bring in some of our Flirty Flamingo ink because I want to stamp an edge around the outside of this card. So I've got the Flirty Flamingo ink. I'm going to use this gorgeous little bunch of flowers out of this stamp set. So it's a gorgeous bunch of flowers. So I'm just going to tone on tone, just stamp around the border of this card, changing it around all the time so you're getting different angles of your flowers. Okay, and that is going to create just a really nice, pretty border all the way around the outside of our card so that when we layer our Smoky Slate layer up, it's not too plain and boring. Okay, so just randomly stamping, you don't have to have a definite pattern of how you're going to stamp. I'm just going to take those ink pads out of the way now, and I'm also going to take away my scrap piece of paper because we don't need that anymore. And I'm going to bring back in this beautiful stamped image that we did in the beginning. And I'm going to use a combination of my blends markers to color this gorgeous stamped flower. So I'm going to start off with my light flirty flamingo, and I'm going to color all of the flowers with the light flirty flamingo. Now be careful not to go too close out to the edge of your stamped image, because our blends actually shift on our cardstock. So they actually blend into our cardstock. So if you go too close to the lines, they may actually bleed outside the lines of your stamped image, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, so we're going to go through, I'm going to use the other end. I feel more controlled with the tip end. It's up to you which end you want to use, but I feel more controlled with the tip end than the brush. If I was coloring a large area, I would use the brush, but seeing this is not a large area, I think that the tip end is easier to get more precision with where you're coloring. Now, you don't have to be fantastic at coloring. Everyone says, I'm not good at coloring, I don't think I could do it. You don't have to be any fantastic artist to be able to do this. The blends are designed to do all the hard work for us. So please give it a second thought about doing coloring. There's nothing more relaxing than coloring stamped images. It is so much fun. It also brings your stamping to a much different level now that we're able to color all of these gorgeous stamped images that we can have. I know with myself, I steered away from a lot of the flower sets for the simple fact of not being able to have them as colored stamped images. We could use our Stampin' Right markers, so you may have over the years used your Stampin' Right markers and colored on your stamps, and then got the different colored petals on your flowers to your green stems and leaves. But I was never ever fond of that type of coloring, so I steered away from all of the flowers. Once Stampin' Up brought out these gorgeous blends, it changed my whole outlook on coloring stamped images. I feel like it creates a much better ease, and you get a gorgeous finished product when you're using our gorgeous blends. Now, everyone can do this totally different. It's really just personal choice. I like to lay down my light color first and then go back through and add the shading with my dark, and then finish it off and blend it with my light blend marker again. But it's totally up to you. Some people like to put the dark down first, go through over it with the light, but I find I get a nicer look by doing it the way I do it. So now I'm going to go back through, and where the stamped images, Stampin' Up helps us so much. They have lines marked on that stamped image of where we need to pop that shading in and getting the difference in our color. So all I do is I highlight where it actually shows the dark bits, and then I go back through with my light and just in little circular motions go over the whole image again, and that will blend your dark and your light together. So it stops you from having a definite line of where you've shaded with the dark, and when it dries you will see that you will have a much more blended effect. So I'm just going to go through now and do the rest of these, and bear with me, it will take a little bit of time, so I hope you don't mind. I'll try and do it as quick as I can. It would be nice if I knew how to edit and speed up a video, but I don't know how to do that. So I just wanted to bring you this gorgeous little card, and I just love the fact that we can color like we can. So once again, following the lines where that stamped image shows us the extra lines, we just pop some of the dark in with the extra lines. So if this is the first time you've watched me, feel free to hit the subscribe button so that you get notifications every time I upload a video to my YouTube channel. And all of the products that I use in my YouTube videos you can purchase through my online store. And I would really appreciate if you wanted to shop for some of your crafting supplies, that you jump onto my online store and order some things through my online store. That helps me bring you more videos just like this one. And as I said, if you haven't subscribed, feel free to hit that subscribe button. So I'm nearly getting through there with this coloring. So once again, going back over, I've done the dark, going back over with the light in small circular motions to get that to blend. Now you may be able to see the ones that are drying over here, and they dry pretty quickly because they are alcohol based. So because our blends are alcohol based, they dry very quickly. The other thing that you need to realize is if you're going to be using our blends, that they will bleed through your cardstock, and I will show you. I'll tip this over in a little bit and show you how they bleed through the cardstock. But it's totally okay because this is a layer that's going on the front of my card, and all of that bleeding that goes through is going to be covered in behind that layer. So it doesn't matter that it's going to bleed. But if you're going to not pop it on top of a layer, you need to be aware that they will bleed through your cardstock, and you will see it on the other side. Okay, so we've got those flowers all blended and done. So I'm just going to, in the middle of my flowers, use my light smoky slate and color the middle of the flowers. I'm also going to pop with some dark smoky slate. You can see that there's some little dots all in these flowers, in the centers. So I'm going to use my dark smoky slate, and I'm just going to pop some dots in the middle. Okay, so just like that, some dots in the middle so that we've got like a beautiful center to our flower. So just like that. And then I'll go back through with my light smoky slate again, and I'll just go over those dots. Okay, and that will just blend them in and make it mix and blend all together. So then I'm going to use my light mint macaron, and I'm just going to color the leaves with my light mint macaron. Now this is a beautiful color combination. If you're looking for something subtle when it comes to flowers, you don't want too strong of colors, the Flirty Flamingo and the mint macaron are a gorgeous blend together for getting that beautiful pastel look to your card. Okay, so I've done the leaves with my light mint macaron. I'm going to grab the dark mint macaron, and you can see just where the veins of the flowers, the leaves are. I'm just going to pop a little bit of the dark mint macaron just in through those veins to add a little bit of shading to my leaf. And then I'm going to go back through once again with my light mint macaron and just blend over the top. So I'm blending that dark with the light. And you can see by going back over the top, it just all blends out and you don't see any harsh lines. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to layer that up onto our smoky slate layer with our liquid Tombow. Okay, so just like that. Now the reason that I choose the liquid Tombow is that we have that amount of wiggle time that you can get that to move around, and make sure you've got your border all nice and neat all the way around the outside. Now I'm just going to grab some of my mint macaron ribbon, which I have just here. And we will pop a gorgeous bit of ribbon across the bottom here. That will look absolutely, actually, yes, no, I'm going to do it across the bottom. Sorry, a bit indecisive there. I don't want to cover up too much of the flowers, but I still want to pop a little bit of ribbon on because I feel like ribbon really finishes off your card. So I'm going to pop a bit of double-sided tape on the back and use my handy dandy take your pick tool to remove the backings off that. I'm then going to grab my ribbon and I'm going to put it down fairly low down the bottom. Grab my ribbon and go across those gorgeous flowers. and trim that off. Okay. And then I'm going to pop that up onto the front of my card. So you can see now the border that we've got, it's created a little bit of interest in behind. So I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop that up on the front of my card. Now our dimensionals come in a pack of 300 dimensionals. So you get 3 sheets with 100 dimensionals per sheet. And you can always use all the outside parts of your dimensionals, but they are fantastic for adding a bit of dimension to your card and just giving your card that special look. Now you can see this way of taking off the backings of the dimensional. You take your pick tool in and twist as you pull it out, and it brings the backings off. Now, I learnt that trick from my lovely friend Rose Ward, who's a Stampin' Up demonstrator over in the US, and she's been trying to tell me to do that trick for ever so long. So I finally have done it, and she's so proud of me that I've actually got it happening now and using that trick. All right, so I'm going to just line that up on there like that. Now we have an insert for our card as well. So I'm just going to bring in my smoky slate again, and I'm just going to stamp that flower on the insert of my card. So just like that. And I'm going to color that again with my blends. So once again, in through with the light flirty flamingo to start off with. Making sure not to go too far out to the tips of those flowers, because that blends will shift on our cardstock and get out there. Okay, we're going to go through with our dark just on the lined pieces, adding a little bit of shading to our flower, using the lines that the stamp already provides us. And back through with the circular motions with our light just over the top to blend those all through. And then with our mint macaron, we're going to do the leaf with the mint macaron. This is the light mint macaron, and down through the stem. The dark mint macaron through the vein of our leaf. Back over with the light, just to blend that through. And then also the center of our flower with our light smoky slate, our dark smoky slate in spots, and back through with that light once again to blend those through. And we've got a gorgeous flower for the insert of our card. So once again, we will take our liquid Tombow. You can see how it has bled through that layer, but that's totally okay because it gets hidden in behind on the inside of our card. So we're going to open up the center of that card and pop that one down like that. Okay, so now what we need to do is do a beautiful sentiment for the front of this card. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that lovely thank you. So I'm going to grab a scrap piece of my Whisper White that I have. And this is just the offcuts from when I cut my layers. I always save all the offcuts. And it's fantastic for doing all your sentiment layers. So I'm just going to pick out the big thank you and pop it onto a block. Okay, now I'm going to use my Pierce mat for this because it's a photopolymer stamp. So because it's a photopolymer stamp, it doesn't have any give like our red rubber stamps. So we need to use some sort of cushioning underneath for it to actually be able to stamp really nicely and give us the look that we want. So I'm going to stamp the thank you in our smoky slate. So I'm going to ink that up, and I'm just going to stamp it down in the center of that Whisper White piece, just like that. Then I'm going to bring in my Can't find my triple banner punch right there at the moment, but I have got my truly tailored punch, so you can do that to flag the ends. So I'm just going to flag that end actually, so because I'm going to have it coming from this side. So I'm going to flag that end just like that. Okay, so that was the truly tailored punch that I've used. And I'm going to pop that up like so, just there in the corner of my card. So I'm going to grab some dimensionals and pop some dimensionals on. I'm going to see where the U finishes, so just there. And pop some dimensionals all the way along. Once again, using my Take Your Pick tool, I'm just going to pull those backings off. Like that. I'm going to trim that off before I pop it on so I can line that up with the outside edge of my layer. So I'm just going to line that up with my white layer and get it straight for the front. So like that. I'm then going to tie a bow with my mint macaron ribbon so that we have a super cute bow just down in the corner of our card. So I only need a small bow like that. Trim the ends off and we'll pop that just down there. So I'm going to grab some double-sided tape to pop my ribbon in. The reason I use the double-sided tape is I just find you can use glue dots, but in my climate, the glue dots tend to not hold very well. So I tend to use a little bit of double-sided tape just to get that extra power, and I straddle the ribbon and the cardstock front so that you actually get it adhering to both and it holds your ribbon in place. So now the next thing what I want to do is I want to take my mint macaron marker. Sorry, I'm trying to think of my blend. And I'm going to colour some of our gorgeous pearls with the mint macaron. So I'm taking the dark mint macaron. I'm going to colour 2 of the small ones and 1 of the large ones. And I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool to grab them off that sheet and pop them onto my card. So I'll pop 1 there, the large one up, there, and the other small one just over here. Now the reason that I've done it in a triangle and I've only done 3 is it's more pleasing to the eye to have a triangle with your embellishments. So I could actually finish it off with a tiny little bit of Wink of Stella. Now the Wink of Stella is our glitter brush and it's fantastic for adding some glimmer and shine to your project. And I'm just going to out those beautiful petals, just flick a little bit of the Wink of Stella out through the petals of the flower. Now that just adds a little bit of something to the front of your card and just makes the whole card pop. Now I'm not sure whether you can see that coming up in the video or not, but it's glimmery and pretty and gorgeous. I'll just go through the leaves and just through that vein, pop a little bit through there. And we'll do the one on the inside as well because we want it to look pretty all around. Just beware that when you use your Wink of Stella, it is an alcohol-based marker, so it will shift your ink. So be very, very careful if your ink is not totally dry that it will shift the ink. So not sure whether you can see the glimmer and the shine there, but there is a super quick, easy, cute card using our Ornate Thanks stamp set and our Ornate Style stamp set. So these stamps are available at the moment through our online store, and you can create a super gorgeous, cute card just like this one. So I hope you enjoyed this card. Please, if you have any comments, drop them in the comments below. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. If you want to purchase any of the items, the links will be in the show more box down below. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to hit that YouTube subscribe button, and there's a little bell notification just near the subscribe button. If you want to click that bell notification, you will get notified every time I upload a video. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to spend a little bit of time with me while I craft. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye for now.
Time can really change the way we live. Focused on the sharing and the chance we have to give. You can do most anything, so just do what you love. Live it, share it, you know it's what you're dreaming.